Today, we're diving into an incredible story about how a single day of fasting could get you a whole kingdom, only to have it all be at risk of disappearing in a puff of smoke. So, how could that happen? Let's get into it.
So this whole thing centers on a prince who had to make a really impossible choice. And that one decision ended up costing him his life, but it also gave him a paradise that, well, he was pretty much destined to lose.
All right, let's set the scene. Our main character is Prince Shobhana. He's married to the wonderful Princess Chandrabhaga, but he has one big problem. He's physically, well, not very strong. And one day, he visits his super powerful father-in-law, King Muchakunda, on a day that turns out to be very, very important.
Now, this king was seriously strict about Ekādaśī. So strict that he'd have a giant kettle drum announce the fast, and no one was allowed to eat or drink, not even the animals. Chandrabhaga knew her husband was weak, so she laid it out for him plain and simple. You either try the fast, or you have to leave the kingdom right now. So, what does he do? He decides to stay. He's going to honor the tradition and attempt the fast. But as the day goes on, the hunger, the thirst, it just becomes totally unbearable for him.
And yeah, by the next morning, he was gone. The fast was just too much for him. A really tragic end to his decision, right? But, and this is a big but, his story is nowhere near over.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. Because Shobhana's life on Earth might have been over, but that one fast, the very one that killed him, it earned him something absolutely astonishing in the afterlife.
After he died, Shobhana got this magnificent celestial kingdom. I mean, think about it. Pillars made of rubies, walls covered in jewels, gold and diamonds just shining everywhere. He's basically a king living in paradise, served by celestial beings. But there's a catch, and it's a huge one. This amazing paradise, it was completely unstable. One day, a traveler from his old life finds this city, and Shobhana confesses this devastating secret. The whole thing could just vanish at any moment. So you have to wonder, right? He did the thing, he got the reward, so why wasn't it permanent? Well, the answer comes down to one tiny, crucial detail about how he observed that fast.
And here it is, the flaw. Shobhana admits his reward is so unstable because he fasted without any real faith. He was just following the rules because he had to. It was all obligation, zero devotion. And that made all the difference.
But Shobhana knew there was a solution, or rather, a person who was the solution. He knew there was only one person whose merit was strong enough to fix this, so he sent a message back home to his wife, Princess Chandrabhaga.
And here's where you really see the night and day difference between him. His one fast was done because he felt forced to. Hers? She had been observing every single Ekādaśī with complete faith and devotion her entire life, ever since she was just 8 years old. So when Chandrabhaga gets the message, she's actually overjoyed. She travels to his celestial kingdom, and when she gets there, she makes him an incredible offer. She says, I can fix this. Take all the spiritual merit I've built up my entire life. And just like that, her pure act of faith corrects the flaw in his. The kingdom becomes stable, permanent, and Shobhana and Chandrabhaga are finally reunited, able to live in peace and happiness. So this whole incredible story isn't just a fascinating tale. It's actually told to help us understand the spiritual importance of the very practice that started it all, the observance of Ekādaśī. So what is Ekādaśī anyway? Well, it's the 11th day of the moon cycle, and it happens twice a month. In the Hindu tradition, it's considered a really special, auspicious day for fasting and for focusing on spiritual activities.
Remember those super strict rules that Prince Shobhana had to follow? That's a huge part of the observance. The main idea is to avoid all grains, cereals, and beans. That's why even the animals in King Mushikanda's kingdom had to skip their usual meals that day.
But it's not like you have to go all out like Shobhana did. The practice is actually pretty flexible. There are different levels you can choose based on your health. You could do a complete nirjala fast without even water, or you could go all the way to just, eating non-grain foods like on a regular day.
Okay, so we've got the story, we know what the practice is, but why do it? What's the whole purpose behind it?
Well, according to the sources, there's a whole range of benefits. On a physical level, it's meant to reduce sluggishness. Spiritually, it's all about increasing your faith and love for the divine. And then there's the karmic side.
It's said to help clear away sins, bring material blessings, and even help you on the path to ultimate spiritual liberation.
When you boil it all down, the story of Shobhana and Chandrabhaga is really about one thing: intention. It teaches us that why you do something is just as important, maybe even more important, than what you do. His action got him a temporary kingdom. Her faith made it last forever.
And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? It makes you wonder, in our own lives, when we're doing things, how much does our inner belief, our intention, actually shape what happens in the end?